Fans, welcome back for another week of Working Fans Wednesday. I am back from vacation. I'm not going to be a choppy guest spot this week. I am running the show. Now, as normally, you can find us on Twitter at FansWorking. We are on workingfanspodcast.com and alleverythingentertainment.com. Check out All Everything Entertainment this week. Just today, I dropped a Veterans Day tribute to my dad that, wrestling fan or not, you're going to enjoy. It's heartwarming. Facebook, we're the Working Fans Podcast. Email, we are workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Instagram, don't bother going to check it, is workingfanswrestling_pod. Patreon, obviously we'd like you to hit it up, but that's been pretty barren so far. That's patreon.com/workingfanspodcast. If you guys out there are twitching, we're Fans Working. Our podcast releases every week, Thursday mornings. We're available on most podcast providers, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Pocket Cast, you know them.
Instagram, that redheaded stepchild, by the way.
That redheaded bitch.
Where's Tyler?
Now, we are brought to you by 482 Designs, FOUR, the numbers 82 Designs @gmail.com. You can get some of those beautiful shirts that we had made up. Hit us up at the aforementioned email and we'll get you some. We are presented to you by alleverythingentertainment.com. You wouldn't be hearing us right now if it wasn't for All Everything Entertainment. They're All Everything Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. And on Twitter, they are at AEEDOTCOM at AE.com. And lastly, we are brought to you by WrestleTopia. Last week, JD Sloan joined us to talk about Tracy Smothers, and he is the man behind WrestleTopia. And he is the best chef in the wrestling business. Tweet Eric Bischoff, tweet Conrad, get that man's stuff out there.
Damn right.
Now that's at WrestleTopia on Twitter and WrestleTopiaTV.pivotshare.com.
Don't forget, you can also find Dave on Pornhub.
Hey, he's got to work for that one, though.
And guys,
that's on Patreon.
Can we take a minute to wish happy birthday to our fourth guest, Rapid Delivery Rory Fox. If you want to find this guy, he is at Rory Fox _ on Twitter. He's at Rory Fox 11 on Instagram. ProWrestlingTees.com/Rory Fox 11. And if you go into collarandelbowbrand.com and search Rory Fox, you're going to find this Roots of Fight style shirt that I'm a little pissed that Dave just showed me today. Because this thing, like, I should have bought it yesterday. That's how excited I am about it. Rory, say hello to everybody.
How's everybody doing?
Awesome, man. Thanks for doing this on your birthday. Appreciate that, man.
Oh,
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
And how amazing is this? Since the last time we talked, I didn't have any of those T-shirts.
I know.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
I've been hustling.
Yeah, before we're going to get into it in a little bit, but Rory, I want to thank you real quick because back when we tried nailing down this interview, you had talked about having a Veterans Day dinner or lunch with your dad.
Yes.
And that made me think, oh shit, it's Veterans Day. This is the first Veterans Day without my dad. So I wrote that piece that we put up on All Everything Entertainment kind of as an obituary tribute to him. And I want to thank you for the inspiration behind that.
Yeah, the article was very well written, by the way.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Now, Rory, we got to get down to business first. Talking Shop-A-Mania 2 this Friday the 13th, 10 p.m. on Fight TV. How wild is it that 10 years later, you're almost more popular than ever at the moment?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I never would have dreamed of it. When that crap went down 11 years ago now, you know, like we discussed before, I wrestled for maybe another year on the local scene, but my heart was just crushed and the passion was gone, and I just wanted to move on with my life. And then here we are today. It's like you think you're out, and then like they say, it pulled me back in, and now I'm in it more than ever.
They always ask the easy questions. I'm going to ask the tough questions.
Oh, Jesus.
When's Matt Cardona going to stop ducking you?
Well, he's got a pretty good alibi right now with the whole COVID disaster.
I think he created it just to avoid wrestling you.
I'm down with that. I'm all into conspiracy theories. I think Matt Cardona helped create COVID-19 so he didn't have to get an ass kicking by Rory Fox.
That's what I'm saying.
But guess what, buddy boy? Around WrestleMania week, I think it's in Tampa again, right?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Hey, April, it's going to be somewhat wide open by then, and I understand they'll be having a live show in Tampa around that time.
I believe he lives in that area now. You can go over there, whoop his ass, and have Chelsea Green cook you some breakfast.
Oh, that would be tremendous.
Oh, God. Talking Shop Mania 3 is going to be on Cardona's back lawn.
Yeah, that's a good place because that's the only way that's going to happen because Matt Cardona refused to show up at Talking Shop Mania 1 or 2. It's beneath him. He's too high and mighty. He's the big star that plays with all his toys. But he can't be bothered with Talking Shop Mania. That's beneath him.
That's because figurines don't fight back.
Yeah, hey, it's tough for his little buddies Myers and little Hornswoggle, which I take care of them at Talking Shop Mania 2. But maybe we should have Talking Shop Mania 3 in his backyard. We'll set the ring up there, and there'll be nowhere to hide. Well, maybe in his garage full of his toys, or maybe he'll hide behind that 100-pound dog that he has now.
He'll be at Disney with Cody.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, remember back in the day when Austin made the house called the Brian Pillman's house? We need Rory Fox making a house called the Matt Cardona's and destroying all his toys on video.
We'll bring the cameras. Dave can referee, and we'll do this thing.
I'm ready. Hey, what kind of craziness can we expect this weekend for Talking Shop Mania 2, man? Talking Shop Mania was wild. What do you think about this weekend?
Oh, before we get into that, I just want to make sure, can you guys hear me all right?
Oh, we can hear you excellent, Rory.
Okay, great, because another topic we'll talk about, that live Twitch stream. They could barely hear me, and I had all this great material. So, okay, yeah, Talking Shop Mania 2, it's insane. Everyone saw the first one, right? All you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. It's more of that insanity, but I think it's a little more organized this time. The production values are better. But good God, Scott Steiner's there, Virgil. Oh my God, there were so many there. God, if you just look at that poster, all these maniacs were there.
I was gonna say the poster. You guys they've been doing some really good previews on Talking Shop as well. I heard you and Emilio on one of the bonus episodes, and I was like, there's our man Rory getting in there. What was the difference between Talking Shop Manias 1 and 2? You said this one is a little more organized, you thought?
Well, yeah, one of the big difference is the big LG wasn't there to help direct, so it was all on Carl and Rocky's shoulders to produce this. So that was one thing. Big LG wasn't there this time to produce this insanity. I think Carl and Rocky did a really great job. They were ready to do work, and LG, he likes to party a little too much, and he's a little grumpy on production days. But hi, Rory, you sound very distant.
Yeah, we got a note from our technical guy here. He said, you sound distant from the mic. You sound good to us, but maybe this is the reason that you had issues elsewhere.
Yeah. I still don't have the headphones. Let me see here.
That's all right. AJ's got the headphones, and he sounds like he's having an asthma attack over there.
Is it better if I just go like this?
It sounds good to me. Yeah. We'll see what Archie says in the comments.
See, because I have earbuds I can plug in, but then it sounds like I'm on Mars. So it's... Let me think here. Have that dude type in, see how we're doing.
All right, let me see. Hey Archie, how we sounding right now?
Archie, how are we?
Come on, Archie.
Now, how wild has COVID been for you out where you're at, Rory?
it's not like New York City or anything. It got to a point a couple months ago where it's now required to wear a mask everywhere you go, like grocery stores, convenience stores, all that stuff. I mean, we have some live music. It's at the Five Seasons Center where WWE and WCW used to run shows, and everyone's really distanced out. It's pretty organized. Luckily, you know, we're a smaller population out here in Iowa, so. But
Dave's
I
always
guess,
been an advantage.
I guess
His girlfriends have always made him wear a mask.
Yeah, I guess the percentage is pretty high out here though right now. But all I can do is when I'm around people, wear my mask. You know.
Hey,
Yeah. Now, has there been a lot of pushback out there? Because it took a while for people out this way to really get used to the mask, and some people even still refuse to wear them.
Oh yeah, it was. We get that a little bit problem now. I understand if it's a place where it says they suggest it, but where it says it's mandatory to come in the store, and I see some of these jabronis not wearing their mask, I just want to just grab them right by their neck and throw them out the damn store.
You've almost got too much of a public profile now to be doing that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to check here to see how I can make this sound better. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't figured out where the mic is on these damn iPads. Sorry, I don't have a laptop. I don't use it. I'm real professional here.
that's right.
But hey, it's like Cardona and them always make fun of me about being out of touch with the tech devices. So this is
you fit it perfect on this podcast. Don't worry, Rory.
Yeah, we actually wanted to have you on because I would say you're almost the epitome of a working fan. You have the day job, you wrestle. You said something last time you were on about being at work and almost daydreaming about promos you can cut and stuff like that. And I've had that same thing at my job where I'll be at work and I'm like, oh God, I really want to put this episode out this way. Or what if we can get Rory for the week of Talking Shop-A-Mania? You know, little things like that. And that all came from hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, sometimes I get so distracted at work and I can't put the phone down because my Twitter's blown up because Matt Cardona said something or this, and it's like I gotta respond to it right now, or promo ideas pop in my head. It's like a songwriter. It's like I have to write these notes down right now or I'll forget them. And then they really pop into my head is at the gym. Like when I got a real good pump, I'm in the middle of my workout and those endorphins just start going crazy. And so many of my ideas have just popped up at the gym, and I record them as soon as I can.
I gotta ask, just out of curiosity, this is gonna be out of left field, but is he just that big of a character, like behind the scenes too? Like he seems like he's out there.
Oh, Virgil is so awesome. You would just never believe it. Of the people I met at Talking Shop-A-Mania 2, he was one of the guys I clicked with immediately. He gets there. And this is the other funny thing about Virgil. He does not have a cell phone. So the Elvis dude, Vernon Love, is the guy that has to pick everyone up at the airport and pick them up from the hotel. And he's like, Rory, I don't know. He doesn't have a cell phone for me to call him. We just let him know to be at this gate at this time, and then he'll be there to be picked up. So I see Virgil, and I go right up to him, and I've never met him in my life, but he's so friendly, like we're long-lost buddies. He actually reminded me of my crazy Uncle Bear, who's a bit of a close talker and will follow you around and keep talking to you wherever you go. And I just met Virgil, and we're hitting it off. We talked for like a good solid hour. He's telling me stories from the 80s. He's telling me about him and Marty Jannetty having chicks in the hotel rooms. I heard all about this.
That's awesome.
Him telling everybody how much that $1 million championship costs. But
I'm just hoping it wasn't Marty Jannetty's daughter.
No, it's not Marty Jannetty's daughter. No.
Oh man.
But I hit it off with Virgil. Virgil was awesome. Some people were annoyed by him, but I looked at it like I was watching him in 1987 on WWF television. I don't care what he says. I'm just gonna hang with him and live in the moment, enjoy my time here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know.
Dude, anytime you get to work with guys that you grew up watching, we've talked about this before. I worked in the Northeast and got to work with guys like Jimmy Snuka, Greg Valentine, Rick the Model Martel. It's always fun to get to wrestle some of the guys we watched as kids.
Yeah, and when you start talking to them, or you actually have a match with them, and you're like their peer for a little bit. It's like when I was on shows, I've wrestled Honky Tonk Man twice. If I run into him at a show now, he may or may not actually remember me, and he lets his guard down, and we just start talking about whatever. You know, I liked his stories about what was it? He calls it building a fence around his favorite female fan or rat or whatever, or that shoot interview where he talks about the marijuana pills. Who was that promoter in Tennessee there that before Jerry Jarrett?
Nick Goulas?
Yeah, Nick Goulas.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wrestled Honky Tonk Man in 2008 in San Antonio, Texas, and I didn't see Honky Tonk Man again until what was it about 2015, and I go right up to him. I go, "Hey Honky, you got any of them marijuana pills?" And then he remembered my really long hair I had at the time in Texas. He remembered me right away. So yeah, that's so cool. And like the Powers of Pain, whenever I see them now, Barbarian gives me a big old hug. Oh, hello, Rory. How are you? I mean, fucking badass Barbarian gives me a hug and knows me now.
That's awesome, man. You're living the life. That's actually, those are great stories, like to have that moment.
I'm one of them wrestlers that I've been wrestling a long time. So, some of my other friends have way more money than I do, but it's like, God damn, I actually got to chase my dreams and got to accomplish a lot of them. And now I'm at this point here in 2020, 2021 to where there's going to be some revenue coming in, it's just crazy. Jerry Lynn said years ago, the problem with professional wrestlers is so many of them quit before their time comes. It's like, if you stick around long enough, your time will come. I may not get to wrestle at WrestleMania or have a WWE contract, but I'm going to get to wrestle on shows all around the country and hang around childhood heroes I grew up with. Who knows? Maybe even get into conventions at some point. So
now, look at what you've said. Just over this year, you've gained shirts that you've been able to get up there. You've been on what, 2 of the largely successful worst pay-per-views ever.
Yeah.
Like, you've been doing a lot with 2020 where some people might have just laid down and been like, there's no money opportunities here.
Yeah, the reason Talking Shop was the last time we talked, was there even a Talking Shop of Mania or anything?
No.
It was, we had just heard you on Talking Shop, and I'm like, we got to get that guy on. And it was interesting because we got a much different guy than was on there. And I was like, that's so much more interesting. Like, you popped me on Talking Shop, but when you came on our show, you were really that epitome of the working fan. And I'm like, I like this guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with him, but now, like, I'm one of he's got a fan in me.
Yeah. In fairness, Joe's usually high enough that he doesn't really recognize us. So.
Rory, you were true to your word, too. I gave you my number, and you texted me photos of you, like, with Jericho back in the day and Eddie Guerrero. Like, Rory is the ultimate guy. He follows through with shit, and I appreciate you since day one, man. That interview a couple months ago we did, you're a super cool dude. I got to ask you kind of an out there question, though. I'm curious. Is it a little weird now because of the Talking Shop of Mania that, like, you're also gaining steam because of your hog size?
Yeah. How crazy is this?
Right.
You have the major pod in Matt Cardona where I'm ashamed that they humiliated me and ripped my trunks off. But yet on Talking Shop of Mania now it's a good thing, and Gallows keeps talking about the hogs. So it's like on one show I'm embarrassed, and then the other show I'm proud, which you'll see at Talking Shop of Mania too.
Full circle.
Yeah. Everything. Turn that negative into a positive.
100%. Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you think you've finally come around and kind of lapped yourself on that trunk tearing thing. Have you finally trumped that in your life and kind of gotten over it, would you say?
I don't know if I'll ever get over it, but I can channel that negative energy now. It's like I'm pretty happy right now, but as soon as you put me in a scenario with Matt Cardona, I can channel all that anger, that humiliation that I felt for 8 years. If Matt may not be a bad guy, but if we get in a wrestling ring, I'm going to channel that energy. I'm going to go to that dark place because it's real. The fans are going to say, "Oh, this is they're putting on a good, fun little show." It's like, no, I'm getting rid of that anger that I've had for 8 years.
I think we got to push through and get you on AEW Dark to start off with, then get you up to Dynamite, get you cutting some Dynamite promos with you and Cardona, and then next year's Full Gear, who knows? Maybe you guys could be on the main event of that.
That was my dream scenario. Was at some point they do that big video package and myself and Matt Cardona have that tuxedo match on AEW. But I think their live show, the major marks, the live show, they deserve that tuxedo match.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to do a crazy street fight or just a wrestling match, cage match, anything with Matt Cardona at AEW. I think that would be great. But I don't know if they would be interested or not.
First of all, don't give that away for free, Rory.
Yeah,
that's something they should be paying for. If that's not on one of the pay-per-views like Full Gear or Double or Nothing, that's a money match right there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, as I continue to get in better shape for 2021, maybe you can get to AEW Dark. I'm not quite sure how to get there, but all I can do is just keep being in shape, and just like Matt Cardona is always ready, I'm going to be always ready, and I'm going to be always angry.
Right, you keep cutting those promos that you did on Talking Shop. Keep doing what you're doing. I can't see how you wouldn't get to a bigger level. If not only just to get this Cardona match done. Because Talking Shop Mania 1 came out. Yeah. I saw Brian Myers come out of that curtain, and I'm like, holy shit. We are finally getting the match. Now, we didn't get the match, but I was happy enough. And now I can't wait to see what happens.
Rory, you've taken the right first step, because I can tell you John Silver came on our podcast.
Yeah.
And before he came on our podcast, people thought he was another hornswoggle. Now he's tearing it up on AEW. So you're taking the right steps, sir.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. Yeah. Yeah, Silver, he's killing it every week now on AEW. Yeah. He's making the most of those opportunities. What was he? He was on that Being the Elite show, right?
Right. He's killing it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was his comedy there that got him over, so I don't see why the same can't happen with you. You're hilarious. You're good in the ring. You've got all the things to make it back there.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know who to contact at AEW, and we just need to see where everything goes first with Talking Shop and the major pod. That's the one thing. We got an echo now. Damn it. I could hear an echo.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, it seems to have gone away now.
Okay. But anyway, all I can do is focus on if WrestleMania happens this year, I know I'll be there either with Talking Shop or with the major pod live, and that tuxedo match is going to happen. But 20 years later, I'm finally going to be at a WrestleMania weekend. It blows my mind. I will be there in the thick of it, in the action.
You belong there. To me, you remind me very much of a working fans version of The Miz. You've got all the talent. You've got the polarizing personality. You got the ability in the ring. To me, there's no reason we can't get you going in a major federation. They should tune in to watch you wrestle. That's for damn sure.
I would think, too, just being on these Talking Shops, like being around Gallows Anderson, I mean, wouldn't be surprised if Impact or somebody might even pick you up, too. I got to think there's a possibility.
Well, Carl Anderson texted me one time. He goes, "You're a star, baby." He goes, "But you're our star." So right now, I think my avenue is like the Talking Shop. I don't know about any TV wrestling right now, but all I can do is just be ready for the opportunity if it comes. But right now, it seems to be more of the comedy, so I'm going to go with that for now.
Yeah,
Have they sent you any free samples of their bourbon yet?
No, not yet. Those bastards.
I mean, it's your birthday today. I hope you see something out there.
But I look at it like this: the last Talking Shopomania, I got airfare, hotel, and a payday, plus a T-shirt from Collar and Elbow out of it. So I'll take that.
Damn right.
Nice. Now, how do you explain Talking Shopomania to your friends that maybe aren't into wrestling? Because I love it, but I'm a wrestling fan. So when I go to explain it to other people, I'm like, ooh, look, it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny. It's wrestling. It's not wrestling. How do you pitch it to people?
I kind of base it off like what Carl Anderson once said. It's like, we're friends. Just help me out and purchase it. You can watch it if you want. It's only $14.95. It helps your friends out. I mean, my mom and stepdad watched it last time. My stepdad watched it based on expecting some pro wrestling. And seeing me out there against Hornswoggle and out there in my thong, she was like, "What's this shit?" I don't think they're buying it this time, but it's going to be better than the last one.
Just
Nice. I
feeling a little
definitely bought it because I'm like, I gotta see this.
I feel like it's almost like a kind of a parody of pro wrestling, but still pro wrestling a little bit.
Oh, it's definitely a parody. You have, they're doing a parody of the eye for an eye match.
Yes.
They're doing the ball for a ball. You have that joke on Monday Night Raw. What's the Raw Underground?
Yeah.
Yep, they got the roll under shed.
We have the
segment.
roll under shed, which, man, I mean, you're going to have Tommy Dreamer, Just Incredible, Rhino. I mean, they're part of Roll Under Shed. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
What else? One other thing. Oh, yeah. Then what was that? What's the other group on Raw? Retribution?
Retribution.
Well, we have Retribution.
Oh, man. I cannot wait to see where this goes.
Which is good because those guys are the shits.
I cut another killer promo. You're going to. Yeah.
I love it, man. Hey, so you seem like, and I think we talked about this before, would you say you're like in the best shape of your life right now at this age, or how do you?
No, definitely not. I definitely would like to be a little leaner yet because the way wrestling is now is everyone has abs and they look like Abercrombie and Fitch models. So I gotta step that up a little bit. I gotta get on that diet that Machine Gun's on. He's got like an 8-pack now, and he never used to. So
it's the hot Asian wife. She keeps him in shape.
Yeah.
Now, Rory, we don't want to take up too much of your time on your birthday, but before we let you go, is there anything you want to plug?
Besides Talking Shop.
Well, yeah, like you already said, ProWrestlingTees.com/RoryFox11, Collar and Elbow, Rory Fox T-shirt. There's that T-shirt on Collar and Elbow. That is based off a custom-made fan T-shirt from 2000. I saw that idea and I was like, I want a Roots of Fight style Rory Fox shirt, and Collar and Elbow is a perfect place for it.
Hell yeah.
It's great because it's a pro wrestling shirt that doesn't look like a wrestling shirt, so you can wear it anywhere and people don't give you shit about it. So that's one thing.
That's what I really liked about it. I thought I saw the Roots of Fight style shirt in it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And me starting my career in Cincinnati, it works perfect for all those fans out there. You can wear it with your Cincinnati Reds hat or your Miami of Ohio stuff or UC, or if you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, whatever.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. It has that. Twitter, you can follow me at Rory Fox _. Also, I'm having an 8x10 sale. I've got several 8x10s. I will personally autograph them and mail them to you for $10. So,
and how do we get that from you?
That's on. Just message me on my Twitter, Rory Fox _.
Guys, if you don't have that picture of Rory Fox signed by Rory Fox, you're missing out. Don't make me come to your house and make you get it.
Oh, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, right now for $10, you can get the special edition Woo 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 Kiss My Ass Rory Fox 8x10. It's where I'm holding the precious Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Championship that I nailed Matt Cardona in the head with in front of a live sold-out crowd in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Collector's item.
That's the one to get. So, guys, hit up
I will be
Rory
reaching
on
out tonight
Twitter.
to get that.
Yes, DM me.
And Rory, once again, happy birthday,
Yes.
and thank you for joining us. And we hope to have you on again at some point.
Thank you very much. And just everyone out there, don't take no for an answer. That's the worst they can say. That live Twitch show I did with the Major Pod Brothers a few weeks ago, I just started yelling out catchphrases, things that just popped off the top of my head. I have 3 T-shirts now because of it. So just believe in yourself. Don't take no for an answer. Be always angry. Don't take any shit.
That's awesome. Thank you, Rory. Have a good night.
All right.
Blast,
Thank you.
man. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Rory Fox.
Hold on a second.
How great
Hold on a
was
second.
he?
Hold on a second. I just want to say personally, and you guys know me, I never take no for an answer either.
I was actually about to say that's been Dave's motto since I've known him. Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, he said it when he's asked for a lot of the interviews we've gone through. He's like, what's the worst they're going to say? No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
Not what
what-
AJ was thinking, but that's all right.
that's what's made Dave a focal point of the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of the Me Too movement,
Yes.
it's Wednesday night. We got AEW NXT talk.
Woo.
Talk about this. Let's start off with AEW.
Wait a minute. Guys,
Tony
you,
Khan tweeted out today that he's got a massive surprises coming and that tonight's episode is going to be a shift in power. Was that how he said it?
yeah,
Shift
he
in
did.
the
He
industry
said-
or a shift in power, something like that.
Yeah.
Dave, yeah, that's important stuff to talk about, but I want to talk about something important to this podcast real quick. Where the fuck is Randy Oscar?
Oh, he was the first comment today. I didn't put it up there, but he started
son of a
off our
bitch.
Talking Shopomania talk with he's excited for the MLW restart next
There
Wednesday.
you go.
Okay, anytime that Randy Oscar gets his ass off the farm and they take the plow off him, you put his shit up on the screen.
Well, in Joe's defense, we had Rory Fox on. We weren't really talking MLW at that time. So
I hear what you're saying. And
Yeah,
as a
you don't get in the
producer-
way of rapid delivery.
I wasn't. Kiss my ass. Woo, woo, woo.
Speaking of rapid delivery, let's get back to AEW.
Okay. What about this? Now, usually when wrestling promoters make a
Brock
like
Lesnar.
this, I think of Impact Wrestling, and I think, holy shit, Dixie Carter, what are you doing? But Tony Khan has always delivered on everything. So I'm curious, like, what he could have going. Now, we were speculating on talent, but I saw some people in the Twitter comments were talking about, and this made a lot of sense, maybe possibly having some kind of connections like with Impact, NWA, New Japan, and everybody coming out here. Maybe that's going to be a big balance shift.
They could end up doing something similar to the old territories where they start using talent from other regions. They've already built that relationship with the NWA. Don't forget with Impact, they lost 3 major talents this week. The treehouse is empty.
Yeah,
all
rumored they're
3
going
of
to
the Rascals
NXT.
are gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's but I think it's important for Impact also to start getting some of this talent back their way if this is going to be a trade-off.
I mean, Impact's got some talent now. I mean, they had a lot of people come in. I like what they're doing with guys like Brian Myers. Obviously, the Good Brothers have been, no pun intended, impactful. You got the North. I think Impact's got a pretty good roster right now. And you know what's funny is, like, it made me think about these fans in these comments we're talking about. Like, you also had Don Callis on the pay-per-view the other night.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe there is a connection there with Impact.
And we know Don.
We see the obvious connection with NWA.
Don Callis is a huge behind-the-scenes player for Impact too.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just getting an on-air personality. You're getting a producer.
I don't know who these motherfuckers are, but AJ, you got a fan in
Yeah,
7.
7, I don't know who you are, but I love you.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
hate
Randy
these-
under a gimmick name.
I hate that these 2 motherfuckers I have to talk to every week, but I love you.
Yeah, they're big. That's funny. You got a gimmick name out here. Somebody named Seven saying AJ. You sure this isn't some bot you created, AJ?
I love the fact that you're making it sound like I know how to create a bot.
Maybe somebody behind the scenes does. AJ number 1.
Now, what do you think?
AJ's great. Fuck Eddie Kingston. Which we'll get to Eddie Kingston in a minute.
Yeah, first let's talk. Do you think Sting's coming in?
No.
100%.
Joe was talking to me about that Saturday.
It's Sting!
Oh, it's Daryl. Oh, I know who Daryl is, and I do love Daryl. That's Daryl's the man. That's
Well, I appreciate him tuning in. So thank you, Daryl.
That's Daryl is an extremely talented, actually, entertainer in his own right. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but the man is absolutely a tremendous entertainer, and I can't even put it into words.
Well, I'm glad to have him watching us here because, we're always trying to build this audience. This is the 6th week we've been doing this.
Stop in
and, every watch helps, even Randy.
Maybe we'll have Daryl on as a guest someday. Huh?
Absolutely. I would love to actually have Daryl on as a guest, and I guarantee I could pull that off.
All
right, now, Dave, everybody has heard mine and AJ's thoughts on Full Gear. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of your thoughts on the evening?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. First off, I was joking around with AJ about this the other day. The NWA Women's title, that was normal. They've been doing that for a while, for that little locket thing. Thunder Rosa had her picture on it, and Allison Kay, when she originally got the belt, it didn't. But then they started doing that thing with the picture. I think it was more of a throwback to, like, the old women's title.
Back in school, Dave actually had a belt.
Yeah, I did.
I had a picture of his mom just like that.
I love my mom. Shut your mouth. Yes, and Eddie Kingston I thought looked great. Not like a member of the Street Profits. I knew right away that he was trying to pay tribute to Masada, one of the All Japan greats. I also overall I thought this was the best AEW pay-per-view they've done so far. And it wasn't because like there was one thing that was just so great. I just thought it was consistently really good and at a good pace.
Did you like Nyla Rose as Method Man?
No, shut up. The only negative feedback I heard was some people didn't seem to like the cinematic match with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. I actually was really entertained. I actually really liked it. So,
like I said, me and Joe talked about this the other day, and you can check that out on YouTube. But we put it out as a little extra. I actually enjoyed the cinematic match, and I actually never liked the cinematic matches, as you guys know. And I enjoyed it because I thought that there was still a good amount of wrestling in there, and they did a great job of storytelling. And the cameos that they had were not over the top. They were really good cameos that actually went back to what he was doing in the original Broken Compound.
Actually, real funny thing, because I think it was post-wrestling where I heard that they were kind of joking about how there was actually – it might have been Sunday night's main event, but they were joking about how there was a ring set up, and they're actually having wrestling commentary on it and everything. And all I could think of was, like, they seemed like it felt like it was out of place. But, AJ, I think you agree. We actually liked that.
Yeah.
We liked it, yeah.
That's I like that. I even liked Rebby playing the piano at the end. I thought it was
that was pretty in tune what they normally do with that. But
yeah, it's entertaining. I'm wondering, are we ever going to see Rebby wrestle again? She was actually a tremendous wrestler on the independents before Matt Hardy kept getting her pregnant.
Plant that seed, son.
Yeah, I think he's gonna just keep dropping loads in her. Honestly, I mean,
we can't blame her, but
yeah, and look at that house that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Seth Rollins figured out that his girl was over the top bigger than him, so look what he did.
Yeah, put her on the side.
I think it's a work. I think he put her on purpose.
Becky.
Now, Dave, where were you with FTR losing the titles?
I love the story. I love the fact that for the first time they can do a flip. By the way, Joe, I don't know if you're seeing this. There's a inbox on Twitter for a special guest who said he can pop in real quick here.
Yeah, of course I didn't see that.
Yeah, that just happened right now, and I saw it, so I'm letting you know.
Oh my God, who do we got?
We might have. Well, let's send him the link, and
now I'm gonna have to figure out how to use Twitter.
We might have a second surprise guest coming in.
All right, why don't you vamp here for a second, and I will send that again.
Let's talk about NXT. and then we might be back to talking shop.
Now, if we get one more guest, that's going to make 5 of us on the podcast at 6 o'clock. I'm pretty sure that equals 11 if you're still watching, Archie. Little inside humor there. That's fine.
Yeah, they wouldn't get it unless they were on the Slack chat, buddy.
You're not invited.
So how, AJ, between me and you, while Joe's doing this, how good of a heel is that Pat McAfee, huh?
Pat McAfee's actually doing a great job as a heel. I mean, he is a big enough dick where I literally just want to slap him all the time.
Which is great, right? That's
which is what he's supposed to be doing.
100%.
That's I love the tag team. I think that it's a great combination, and now you're throwing Pete Dunne in there. I mean, how can you go wrong with anything with Pete Dunne? If anybody ever comes as legit, it's Pete Dunne.
He came back and he's looking beastly now.
Yeah, I know Dave doesn't. Yeah, I know Dave doesn't care for Pete Dunne because he only likes people that wear masks and do flips. But whatever.
Now, Dave, how surprised were you that AJ is a fan of John Silver and didn't mind the Silver Cassidy match?
I actually love John Silver.
I am not surprised at all. John Silver doesn't have things that bother AJ. Yeah, he's a little bit short, but he doesn't.
But he has enough muscle tone where he looks like a wrestler.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't wear a mask. He's not too skinny. He's right above what AJ's looking for. I'll just leave it at that.
Now, Dave, were you a fan of that Kingston Moxley match from the other night?
Yeah, I think Kingston is like ready to be a over huge baby face at some point. He's starting to remind me kind of like a modern Mick Foley, and a guy like everybody wants to see him maybe get the belt, but we don't know if they'd ever put the belt on him. And we'd hope for just like even that short title run would be great. I mean, that's what I get out of him. That never give up attitude. I mean, obviously he did, but he's just fighting towards the end. You want to root for the guy.
I thought he actually put on a hell of a match, and he had me cheering for him halfway through the match. They did such a good job of telling the story beforehand. And you know me, I hate vignettes. I don't like promos. I don't like vignettes. I don't like stuff that reminds you. But he's done such a good job beforehand of making you feel his pain for the last 20 years that I found myself halfway through getting tied up in the match going, come on, let him win this one. Even though I knew clearly Moxley was going to win.
Yeah, that was a shame. I wanted to see, as you described him, AJ, the fat janitor, to pull this.
Okay, he didn't dress like a janitor this week, though.
No, he dressed like fucking Masawa.
Yeah, he for whatever reason, maybe he was listening to the podcast. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Said, hey, I need new gear. What's Dawkins been wearing?
Now, what are you guys looking forward to as far as AEW tonight? We got Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage, Ty Conti versus Red Velvet,
Neither one of those.
Natural Nightmares versus the Butcher and the Blade.
Okay, first of all, how can you not be looking forward to seeing Ty Conti?
Get out of here. I want to see her match with Red Velvet. Kiss my ass.
I didn't say anything about her match with Red Velvet.
Yeah, I know what you meant. No, I mean, those are fine. I don't want to shit on any performers, but no, that doesn't have my attention.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'm kind of more curious what surprises might be up.
I'm looking forward to surprises. I'm also looking forward to seeing Kenny Omega come out after winning the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What's Hangman Page's reaction to losing in the tournament going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Is he just going to come out drunk, or is he actually going to do something?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that this can go. I mean, Orange Cassidy's reaction after the matches when he got Miro and freaking little English dude came over and bothered him.
Pac?
Yeah, Pac.
Sabian?
Yeah, Sabian. Yeah. I will never refer to Pac as little English dude because he's from Wales.
Yeah, he's from over there in the United Kingdom area.
Yeah, he's from Wales.
Little English dude.
Not quite English, not quite Scottish. He's Wales.
We got Pac and we got little Pip.
Yes.
All right, now what do you guys think about NXT tonight? We got Lorcan and Birch versus Breezango. We're going to see what's next for the North American champion. We got Tony Storm's ass versus Candice LeRae.
Should be a good match. Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a match.
there's going to be some kind of Rhea Ripley involvement, some kind of Io Shirai involvement tonight.
We didn't really talk about it last week, but Tony Storm burnt down the house last week. I mean, they had an awesome match last week, and now she's going against Candice LeRae this week. There you are, Randy Oscar.
Jesus Christ.
I don't do this show without Randy.
Oh, yeah.
It's in my rider. If I don't have Randy on the show, then I'm not booked.
You want a neck massage or something too, pal?
You were almost not booked because Dave took it to your general manager there, you were saying.
Yeah, Dave worked hard to try to make sure that I wasn't here this week, but I overcame.
He worked the morning shift, baby. He ain't about that morning life, AJ. He might be about the morning after, but that's another story.
Yeah, I think those are the pills that you give those girls that you don't listen to their nose.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Jesus. Oh, guys.
This was our last week on the All Everything Entertainment this week.
Yeah,
this is going to be our last week with AJ Strangebrew. The views of AJ don't represent those of the rest of us around here.
Normal people.
I'm a heel.
All right, now back to here's something. Randy's actually pumped for MLW next Wednesday.
We all are.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about this week, but I think next week is where it's at, where you're going to have Davey Boy Smith versus Fatu for that MLW title. And then you got that middleweight title match that was just announced between Pillman Jr. and Reed.
Yeah.
Is there any way that they don't put the belt on Davey Boy Smith Jr. next week?
I don't know.
Tell me this is not something that's been coming.
100% they're not going to do it.
Get out of here. You really?
Mainly, the only reason I think it is because Fatu won the title about a year ago. And Court Bauer came up being trained, or he worked with the Samoans coming up. So he's got that healthy appreciation for not only that old school booking style, but also the Samoans. If MLW had been going continuously this whole time, I'd say you have a chance. But since they're just kind of restarting now, I don't know if this is really the spot for him to necessarily take the title. Randy thinks his deal is coming up, too.
Well, yeah, that would be if the deal's coming up, that would definitely change things. But Court was on the Laps Fan podcast, and he actually did put over that both his champions have had the belt for over a year now, or about a year. So the fact that he's acknowledging it like that makes me think, I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in the middle of these guys.
Is there a chance at some point? Is there a chance that at some point Jacob Fatu wants to go to the WWE and claim his rightful seat at the head of the table?
That'd be fun.
I think he definitely will, but I mean, what he's doing in MLW right now is major. He's had a nice, steady climb from the West Coast doing, God, now that we're live, I can't remember the promotions he's gone for, but it was like APW out in California. PCW up in Washington.
Didn't he do some Gorilla too?
Yeah, I think he's done some Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I'm not 100% sure on that. I wouldn't be surprised, though. He has a strong West Coast following behind him.
Yeah, he was definitely a Tupac guy.
Yeah. He had a promotion out in Chicago where that fan, jumped at him and he, knocked him on his ass, too.
He definitely won. He went Terry Gordy on that fan.
Now, did you see that Harry Smith actually wrestled on the NWA pay-per-view last night?
I did not. I was going to. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah,
me neither. I bought it just based on the fact that he was wrestling, I believe, Mike Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, with all the wrestling that we watched during the week, when it was the 1 hour power, it was easy to fit it in. Trying to fit a weekly pay-per-view in on a Tuesday night when you also have Impact, it's very challenging.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like NWA Power. And I mean, it's not even technically NWA Power.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think is going to happen with Selena De La Renta and Contra? They've been building up Contra huge the whole time MLW's been down. So it's very interesting to see where they are coming back.
Guys,
And
I'd like to.
Selena
I want to
had one
point
of the
something
bigger
out real
factions
quick.
going. Sorry, what was it?
My fan, Randy Osga, is the smartest fan that we have on this show. If you look at the things that he's bringing to the table here, I don't see any of your jabroni fans bringing this.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what kind of bitch-made motherfuckers you guys bring to the table.
All right.
Where's Scott? Where's Scott Michael Foley at? Or Farrelly? Sorry.
You mean Scott from Voluntown?
Yeah, where's he
He's
at?
hiding in the woods.
Kayfabe Lanu. You want to talk his names out here?
Oh God, we're going so late. We're just breaking kayfabe on all fronts here.
In fairness, Scott's name comes up on the bottom line when it actually.
I didn't even think about that. He does pop up in comments.
Yeah, his full name actually pops up on the comments, guys.
Never mind.
I wasn't actually breaking kayfabe.
Yeah, you'll only do that behind closed doors, right?
Joe, what's the status on this possible mystery guest here?
That's a good question. I've been killing time waiting for it, and I feel like we've hit a spot where it's like we started naming off everybody's last names.
Back to Selena De La Renta in Contra. Do you think that this actually could end up being one of the biggest groups in wrestling, period, right now?
Selena De La Renta's group or Contra?
I'm sorry, versus Contra. Sorry. Do you think this could be one of the biggest battles?
I think it's going to be their next War Chamber match, I would say. You got to see where they are at the restart, because like I said, if they had been going all year, we'd kind of have a better idea of who's going up against who. Right now, it's honestly a restart, so we're kind of seeing where that's at.
Because in NXT, you've got
limited fans. Is it going to be completely empty? What's it going to look like? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, because you have two major factions now in NXT going at it, with Pat McAfee now having a faction. So they're going to be going head to head. And then in AEW, you have the Nightmare family, which is one faction. Taz is building a faction. You got the Inner Circle building a faction. You got the Elite building a faction. So you almost have four factions now in AEW.
Yeah, 2020 is definitely the year of the faction, I would say.
So you got me and Randy Osga building a faction.
Mm-hmm.
You two are not in.
I have a feeling Randy's going to be on AJ's next podcast.
I can't wait for this group, the Farmers Market. It's going to be awesome.
You already gave him a name. That's trademark. That was made on this show. That stays with us.
Or where Dave prefers to get it.
Yes, Pat McAfee is incredible on the mic. Yeah, I agree with that too. He is an awesome heel. We didn't talk about that. I think that Pat is a guy that I love him on NXT, but he's definitely a guy that could succeed anywhere I think he worked for. He's that good. He looks like a star. He acts natural as a heel. He reminds me of an old-time heel. And as we've seen in this match that he had, his first and only match, he's super athletic. Don't worry about no maple bread, Oscar. You'll get what you get.
There's two of us on the planet that are pro maple bread. Nobody else buying it.
There's somebody buying it. Don't worry about that. Good week for maple. Numbers up.
Now, guys, which show do you think you'll watch tonight?
I'm going to watch both like I always do at the same time.
I forgot, Dave. You got that bread money. You got that 2 TVs. Martin's putting everything up,
buddy. I
buddy.
can tell you what AJ's going to do, too.
I will watch.
His wife falls asleep. He's going to watch AEW, and then he's going to watch NXT. And I'll tell you this, and he'll back me up on this. Even if and he is unbiased, he will watch both shows. But even if he thought NXT had the hotter show for 1 week, he will watch AEW first. Because anything that is not the WWE that he thinks is a legitimate competition, he will watch them first because in his own way, he feels like somehow he's giving them the rating.
Wait till next week when I have to lump 3 shows in.
Oh, that's true. Now, is it weird that MLW now is kind of pushing for a Wednesday night release?
I think it's going to be awesome.
Were they out before, though? I used to always watch them on YouTube. So
I want to say they were always on Saturday.
Okay.
It was Saturday Fusion.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's Saturday on beIN Sports. I want to say they do Wednesday on Fubi TV and on YouTube.
They're on the zone too.
Is
Yep.
Fubi one of those Japanimation things that you watch?
No, that's a clothing line. A lot of hip hop gear.
Oh.
Now, Randy was a fan of our full gear review. If you want to check that out, that was the bonus episode that came out yesterday.
Yeah,
It actually got our highest ratings. They said, thank you for not having that redheaded slut on there.
yeah. I was looking at the ratings, baby. That's all right, though. I won't take credit or discredit for that.
Now, I pretty much watch AEW across the board every Wednesday night for a while. I catch up with NXT down the line, except for the week that they had Halloween Havoc. Then I was definitely on an NXT kick that week.
Do you
But I
find
think
that you find you tune in a little bit sooner knowing Tony Storm's going to be on?
now, what does AEW do tonight? Randy, I think that's the question of the day. We kind of went over it a little earlier. There was reports of what a industry changing, shaking thing happened.
Yeah.
We got Cody responding to losing his belt. We got MJF's induction into the inner circle, and then a handful of matches.
I'm going to throw a hypothetical out there at you guys, and this is purely hypothetical. I don't know what you guys think the odds are, but do you think that there's a chance that Brock Lesnar could ever go to AEW?
Yeah, there's a chance. He's got the Tony Khan's got the money, so I don't know. And Tony Khan's a big fan of legit, real athletes. Obviously, like that. Yeah, there's a chance, but I don't know.
Brock. I don't know if you saw pictures of Brock this week too. He's also completely changed his look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he actually has all the facial hair and looks. He looks like a freaking monster right now, not like his usual lovable self.
Now, how long's he been off TV now?
God, a year, right?
Well, no.
WrestleMania he was there, right?
April, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a year.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell with Brock. I mean, he wrestles so often that when you don't see him,
2020 has been the year that keeps on going too. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2020 has felt like it has not ended yet, and
I was gonna say the last time I saw him wrestle was 2020, and we're in like 2022 now, right?
Yeah.
We're in 2020 part 17.
I mean, the one good thing about 2020 is it's been the year of the Working Fans podcast. So
let me ask you, AJ. Let's say they got a guy who's under a Legends contract, who just ran up, like a Sting, or I did hear a rumor that Steve Austin, I don't think is under a Legends contract right now. Let's say
he doesn't deserve it.
Like that. Is it still a game changer in your mind that one of those guys showed up in an ambassador capacity?
The problem is that if you're not wrestling, there's only so much. People are only going to tune in for so many weeks to see Commissioner Austin or to see Sting hang out in the rafters. If you can't work a match, why would people tune in week after week? And
so
assuming
it's not a multi-promotional thing, which is what I'm leaning towards now. But assuming it's not, what are the few wrestlers that can be game changers? I can think of Brock Lesnar, John Cena. It's available.
Cena is still under contract, though.
I wasn't sure if he was because
I believe that he is still under contract until he wrestles a certain amount of matches. I believe they have him on that one of those contracts where he's able to go and do what he's doing, but he has to come back and can only wrestle for them.
No, maybe to answer Randy's question, maybe a cinematic match like with The Undertaker or something like that, which has really been the only thing he's really been holding out for. That Sting has basically said in interviews that he's kind of hinted towards that, there's a surgery that he's put off, and it's basically just that one match. And honestly, at this point, I think between those two, it would have to be something kind of cinematic.
What's he 2 years away now from his last match?
Yeah, I mean,
2.5, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
about over a year ago too that I heard him say that. So,
I mean, for Christ's sakes, it comes a point in time where can you even get remotely close to the same person you once were if that match happens?
Do you think they could pull off something cinematic? Those two, though, I feel like they probably
Cinematic,
could.
absolutely, because cinematic is, first of all, it's taped ahead of time.
Sure.
So you're able to edit and do what you want to do in it and make it look the way you want it to look. So
Right.
absolutely, they can pull it off.
Yeah. In the ring?
No, but if you go live and in Technicolor in the ring, then there's too much room for errors, and he's one bump away from freaking not being able to walk and being crippled.
By the way, because you just mentioned we're talking about Taker, just a recommendation for fans. There's a WWE story about Paul Bearer now on the network. Something Mortician. Totally awesome. Tons of old school footage from World Class, USWA, and beyond. They have an old interview with Paul Bearer where he's talking, and he has like specific dates of when he talked to Vince McMahon. It's way better than anything I thought it was going to be. They have things from Undertaker and Kane that's current, and they talk about stories of Paul. And I would highly recommend it. If you're a fan of wrestling and you're a fan of like just that time period, check it out. It was a pleasant surprise this week.
Randy Osgood, once again, is quoting one of my favorite geniuses. He says that Sting had some great moments in TNA, especially as Joker Sting.
Yeah, I would agree. Joker Sting's one of my favorites. I've said that for years.
Isn't that what you said yesterday, though, AJ?
That's literally what I said yesterday.
So he's quoting one of your favorite geniuses, yourself.
Amen.
I was trying to piss him off and making it sound like I came up with that years ago, but he didn't take the bait.
Taking his heat on that.
That's because nobody's buying that, Dave.
I've always been a fan of Joker Sting. There's like, well, I used to tell AJ back in the day, I used to like guys like William Regal, guys that could stretch you. AJ was always a fan of guys like Mysterio who did the flying and everything like that.
Do you guys think at Survivor Series that this is the Undertaker's final farewell?
Too close to call, man. I mean, that guy had a pretty good moment, but Survivor Series would be the great send-off. It would also be the great beginning for one last ride, no pun intended.
At some point, are they going to actually tell us what the fuck the final farewell actually means? If it's a match, if he's just going to come out and wave at us, hey guys, farewell.
It's too hard to tell now. I think they've blown his farewells enough times that we don't even know what to expect now. I'm not even convinced it's going to be a farewell.
I say put him in an egg and have him hatch out. No, that's not
going to be Eggman. You're quoting that. That's what he was concerned about with the Survivor Series. The Gobbledygooker was the Gobbledygooker. For those who don't know, was coming out the same time Undertaker debuted, and he saw that egg, and I guess he was concerned. He said, "Oh God, they're going to turn me into Eggman." So when Vince called him and said, "There's my Undertaker" or something like that, and Mark was on the line, he goes, "Oh, not Eggman." Okay.
I could see Jim Ross calling it. It's a red hen. It's a red hen.
All right, guys. I think it's safe to say that our special guest, we are not going to be able to make that work this week, unfortunately. But guys, what are kind of your final thoughts on the night before we go out here?
Dave started off.
I would say that I think AEW, Tony Khan has kind of set us up for a make or break moment tonight. Like you don't want to make promises you can't deliver. However, he's always delivered. So I'm very curious to see what he does. I will say this for those who don't remember this, the opposite side of this, Dixie Carter once tweeted out and, sent out press releases that there was going to be a pay-per-view coming up, Impact had, and it was going to be a game-changing industry thing. And Tommy Dreamer showed up. So we love Tommy Dreamer.
I have a feeling Tony Khan might be a little bit different.
Despite the fact that some people might call him Jacksonville Dixie. It's a great thing though. But I think he's going to come through. I'm excited. I like the idea potentially of all these promotions working together. As for NXT, solid night of wrestling is what I would expect. Those guys usually deliver that. I do like Lorcan and Burchill being the tag champs. We'll see.
I think it's going to be another great night of wrestling. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping for some good surprises from AEW. If you're going to bring out a tweet like that, you've got to deliver. If you don't deliver this time, then unfortunately people aren't going to take you seriously going forward. And you're going to build up that reputation of like a Dixie Carter or something of that nature. And that would be tragic for AEW at this point in their careers. NXT, I think, will continue to have solid wrestling and good storylines. So I'm very fired up, very excited about it. Also, I'd like to mention coming up, producer Joe is actually going to have a guest spot coming up on what's it called, Joe?
I'm going to be guesting on the Troy to Show. I'm going to be recording this Friday, and we're going to be talking hip hop. Once I get a link for that, I will definitely send it out.
And guys, if you enjoy hip hop, let us know, because we are the working fans. I mean, we talk wrestling, but if there's any place you want to come for a source for your hip hop information, it's 3 middle-aged white guys. So please, by all means, reach out to us. We'll talk hip hop for you.
Yeah, guys, if you want to come here.